Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. It is Thursday. So yes, it is Thursday, and it is that big day. It is the day we have all been waiting for, the launch of the new DJI FPV system. Actually, that's what we thought was going to happen, but that isn't quite what happened. Tonight, we're going to go over what actually did happen today, and what was, let me move over to there a little bit, was the release of the DJI Avata drone. And this has been a rather interesting day because we've learned a lot from DJI saying very little. So what we're going to do tonight is walk through what has happened. I don't have one. If you are coming here expecting me to go, ha 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 ha, I was lying to you all along, and DJI actually, no, they didn't. DJI don't talk to me anymore. Many people don't talk to me anymore, as you've probably seen from my community page, but we'll leave that there. I'm going to lower the table a little bit. It's a little high tonight. Let me just take that down a touch. So we're going to talk about what's happened. We're going to talk a bit about the release. I'm going to explain, have I ordered this or not? And we'll come on to that in a minute, because nothing is set in stone. So, and we'll talk about where I think things are going to end up. Now, as always, this is a live stream, so it's all about interaction, and you fantastic, amazing people are here as well. I want to say a massive hello to everyone in the chat. I'm not going to go through all of the names tonight. I usually do, but I'm not going to do it tonight. If you're here, hello, welcome, thank you. I just want to also say a massive thank you to all of my Patreons. It's been a weird day for me, and I'll explain a little bit why at the end of the video, but I just want to say a massive thank you to all of the Patreons who support the channel, as well as everyone who donates and watches the channel as well. So, I don't have an Avata drone, but it has released. And let me get over to... Oh, I've changed a setting. I've just realised I've changed a setting on something, which means something isn't going to work. We will be going without that today, I've just realised. So, let's get over to it. We have the release of the Avata drone from DJI. And as you can see, what's missing is me in the corner, because I've not turned it on. So let me just check if I can actually do it. Is that even going to work? I've turned on the box. I don't think it is. NVIDIA's not going to play ball. NVIDIA broadcast. Unfortunately, I forgot to turn broadcast on. I wasn't quite as prepared as I thought I was. So yes, we've had the release of the new Avata drone. See, why does it always choose the wrong camera? I have no idea why it does that. See, there I am. Look, there's me. And let's see if I can turn myself back on. That one there. Hey, there we go. Hello. So we've had the release of the Avata drone. Now, it is pretty much what we have expected from the product. There has been no real surprises here from a drone point of view. You know, from the product itself, and getting off the specs a minute onto the main page, there's nothing particularly new. It's a cinewoop, basically. DJI are telling us it's amazing. You've got the goggles too, which we'll come on to in a minute. They're telling us some stuff. What is interesting, 1.17 inch sensor, 4K 60 or 4K 50 frames a second. Something very interesting on that as well is it is only 4K 50 or 60. There is no 25 or 30 frames a second on this drone. This drone is 50 or 60 frames a second only, and that's going to cause some problems for some people. As we knew, it does have horizon steady and rock steady because it doesn't have a proper gimbal. It has a vertical gimbal, but it does have the software stabilization. They talk about that. Let me just get down a bit more with the interesting stuff. It's rugged. They're selling parts for it, which I think is fantastic. We like that. It's designed to fly indoors and outdoors. It's got downward vision sensors only. No front object avoidance sensors. No back, no sides. Only downwards, which is pretty poor. It's got OcuSync 3, which is up to 1080p H.265. Now, this is something new. It was in the spec, but we didn't know if it was going to be the case, but it is H.265, 100 frames a second. Also note, 50 megabits a second maximum bitrate, unlike the FPV system, which is 60. Parts will be available for this, frame parts. They haven't showed motors, but I have seen frame parts listed, which I think is really good. That is rather interesting. So we've got that, 10 kilometers maximum range, OcuSync 3, and look, everything is as we expected on that. Now, the real big thing from an FPV point of view is we finally have the Goggles 2. Now, there isn't currently a dedicated page for the Goggles 2. There is only this page here. So again, Goggles 2, OLED displays, support 2.4 and 5.8 gigs. They support Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. But, and I'm coming back for this, what they don't currently support is the OcuSync 3 ear unit, because there isn't an OcuSync ear unit at this moment in time. And the specs say they do not support the current digital FPV system. Now, the Goggles 2, and there's lots of images and videos, which I'm not going to go on to. They do have removable antennas with MMCX connectors. Actually, let me just put that back up here. We do, and the Rotor Riot video looks at that, and we'll jump on a couple of videos in a minute. They do have removable antennas. You've got the touchpad. No analog in or HDMI out. It's just digital via the DJI system only. They do also have a very limited voltage range compared to the Vision 2 goggles. They only support up to 12 volt max. So people are going to need to be careful on this. There is no live audio from the drone. They have stated that as well. So right now, these goggles are only designed to be used with the Avata drone. We know that the OcuSync 3A unit is coming in the future, and something interesting that has been shown is that basically the firmware option for that ear unit is already in the firmware. It's just disabled. I'm not going to tell you where I've seen that, but that has been found. So they have actually baked in O3 ear unit support, but that isn't current ear unit support. Now, where we stand on the current ear unit as follows. There was a statement which was read out by Rotor Riot, which said the system does not support the current system at the moment, and DJI are evaluating the feedback from the community. Now, what that means in my eyes is basically they're going to see how well it sells. If it sells really well, they probably won't do it. But if it sells poorly, they probably will to help shift some. Now, that info is pretty much hard written in the spec. Okay, if we go on to the DJI goggles a minute, and let me just show you something under the frequently asked questions, they have made it very clear that it does not support the future system, and they don't have an intention to do it. What they say is this. If you go down here, is in the info, they go, where is it? It's further down here somewhere. I'm trying to remember where it is. It's third-party devices. Where's the FPV system? No, it's further up. It must be. Does it support audio transmission? Which is no. Not real time. Third-party devices. It's not that. Analog, HDMI. Oh, it's vanished on this page I'm on here. There is a question on Goggles 2 here, and they specifically say about it. And their answer is very clear. I have got it as a screenshot. Let me just find it a minute. Right, here it is here. Do Goggles 2 support the DJI FPV system? The answer to that is a hard no. Now, this question here, do the DJI Goggles 2 support real-time live view output or streaming? If we just jump back to the page and find that, live output and streaming, that should be here. Currently, no. So if you notice, for the FPV system, they've said no. For the output of live real-time video streaming, they've said currently no. So you have to take a very understanding view of how they're wording it. Now, since this, there has been a statement via, I could control F, I just can never remember which one is which. Where is it? It's one of these. This one here. Let me make it bigger. DJI support replied to a user, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this right now, that the Goggles 2 only support Avata right now. DJI FPV system will be supported in the future. Please pay attention and check for firmware updates. Now, everyone is running around saying, oh my God, they're going to do it. Understand, this account is a low-paid worker in most likely Thailand. This means nothing until it happens, okay? So please don't read into this as absolute fact. There are many things that is being said that has never happened with DJI. They often say things and it doesn't happen. So whilst this has been said, right now, they don't support it. So the current situation is, I'm going to come to the chat now. I'm going to get this wrapped up and come back to the chat sec. The current situation is the Avata goggles only work with the Avata drone. We believe it will get support for other drones in the near future, and that has been shown in a screenshot from someone, which shows Mavic 3 support, Mini 3 support, and FPV drone support, but that isn't confirmed 100%. At the end of the day, whilst that is in the firmware, it doesn't mean DJI will activate it. For instance, the V2s also support the A2S, yet DJI have never activated. So it is very possible that the system will never get the support they've said. Now, as for what the stance is on FPV current support, that basically is a complete rework of the firmware, and as far as we're aware, they have not done it on the new goggles. So it remains to be seen if that's going to happen. We believe it will add drone support, but we also believe it will add FPV drone, Mini 3, Mavic 3. But this may not happen. DJI have it in the firmware. It doesn't mean it will happen. The new Avata and the FPV drone are very similar drones. They're basically the same drone from a software point of view. So that's not difficult for them to do. The question is if they do it. That is what the question is. As always with DJI, they can do whatever they want. It's a question of if. Okay, just jumping up to the chat a minute because I've seen some interesting things. If Mini 3, then probably also Mini SE. Potentially, it depends if it's OcuSync 3. Do I know if the new Avata goggles will support FPV drone? Wonder if SCC hacks will work on the Avata. As far as we're aware, that's being looked at now, Bruce. How is OcuSync regarding range? Thoughts? Range of these... Okay, DJI artificially limit the range on the current system. It could go further. It's limited. OcuSync 3 overall has very good performance. Type mentioned something about Thailand as cheaper developers. It's not the developers. Their whole customer service outlet was based in Thailand for a long period of time. So all of DJI support online was based in Thailand, not engineering at all, just front-facing customer service reps. Mini 3 would be interesting. I want new goggles in a unit Vista quads. Yeah, so we're in this situation of we have a brand new set of goggles, which everyone in FPV wants, yet they're not compatible. And look, this is the ultimate frustration of DJI. And this is how crazy this is. I was talking to someone this morning who was sent this product by DJI, who told me he was told by his representative it will work with the current FPV system. And then when he tried it, there was no option. And then he was told, the firmware's coming in a few days. So this is the problem with DJI. DJI are a company that won't they don't communicate internally well, and their message that goes out is always so conflicting. And even when you have someone that says, like that customer service rep, like this person you're saying, oh, it's coming, this person isn't an engineer in China. That account is run by a low-paid worker, probably in Thailand, who's basically looked across at his supervisor and gone, are they going to add support for that new FPV system? Oh, yeah, I should think so. Yeah, there you go. Say yes. You know, that's how it works. You've got to understand that. I don't see why not. Okay, I'll tell him yes. That's how it is. You cannot believe a word that DJI customer support says. Only when it is in your hand can you believe it. So, the goggles themselves. What is interesting here about the product? I think the drone is very interesting. The image quality appears very good. I think the performance looks okay. I think it really is very interesting for new flyers and people who want an off-the-shelf cinewoop. I think this is probably going to sell much, much better than the FPV drone. It's a much better overall product than the FPV drone. The goggles look fantastic, but the frustration is, at the moment, they're not for us. This is the issue. So, the drone looks like a decent product. If you add up the cost of a GoPro, the stabilization, it works with GyroFlow, which is fantastic. I think there's a lot of good here. For me, there are, though, some absolutely insane decisions that DJI have made as part of this. And number one is the fact that they are only selling this product only with the bloody motion controller. Now, I can't believe for 1 minute that has been a decision they've made. You can only buy this drone with the motion controller, and if you want it with the standard controller, you've got to give them another $130. Insanity. But we all know why they've done this, because they probably have a shipping container full of motion controllers, or probably 10 shipping containers versus motion controllers that no one bought with the original FPV drone, and they needed to get rid of them. That's probably what it was, because no one bought it. But they will probably produce, as Sean has just said, a controller in the future. You can buy the drone without the controller, which is fairly good. The drone will fly in acro mode with the controller, which is great to see, although she's a bit heavy at times. So yeah, there is a lot of good here, but there are some quirks, and I've written some stuff down, actually, I wanted to go over. So interesting things. 20 gigabyte onboard storage plus SD card. That's cool. That's actually quite cool. Battery is interesting. Battery on the Avata drone is lithium ion, not LiPo. Quite interesting. Drone runs on 2.4 gigs receive only and 5.8 for video, so it can only receive on 2.4. We have the 1.17 inch sensor, JPEG only on stills, MPEG 4 only, 150 megabits a second video, and it only supports, as I've already said, 50 and 60 frames a second. There is no 25 and there is no 30 frames a second on this drone, and that is likely because of them mixing the video system between the two. Now, there is something I've noted from these specs, and what that note is, I think they're limited on processing power. Because they've limited the frame rate, and because they've limited it to MPEG 4 only, I think they're having to limit the camera capabilities because of the software stabilization. We've seen this from DJI before. When they're splitting the camera performance, they don't have all of the options. No RAW, which, okay, do you really want RAW on a video like this? No sign of H.265 on recording either. I'm guessing it's H.264 recording. I could be wrong, unless it's HEVC. I didn't see on the spec that it might be. And Sean, yes, you are putting me off. I shall have a word with you in a minute. I have seen. I'm going to come back around to the super chats in a minute, guys. I have seen them, and I'm going to have to put that up in a second, and we'll come back to them in a sec. So we have had that. So there is some interesting specs here, but the drone is very loud. Now, I have only watched 2 reviews on this drone. Okay? One of them was Rotor Riot, and I've lost my mouse pointer. Now, let me put this up so you haven't seen it. One of them was Rotor Riot, and the other one was this gentleman here, who has just fallen into the chat. Timing is impeccable, Mr. Dobo. If you want to watch a review on this video, check out Ken's 3 videos that he put up today. The man is a very, very clever man. How do you beat the fact that everyone is going to release their 1 video at the same time? You release 3. I like that approach, Ken. I really do. I thought the Rotor Riot video was okay. It gave me the information I wanted. Look, you got to go into watching the Rotor Riot video with the certain level of skepticism that you should have. They're a dealer. They're going to say what you want to hear to sell you the product. So, yeah, Ken has put his video up, as has Sean at Geeksvana, which put his video up earlier as well, and we'll put that up in a second. But it was Ken's. You can see I've watched on this one here. I watched the other ones on my phone. Haven't watched Potato Jets. I watched Rotor Riot, and I watched Ken's. Ken has a fantastic video with it on a GoPro on the top. I watched these on my phone, so it hasn't shown here. But Ken had he's got this fantastic video where he shows the 3 on the top. Ken's had it a month. 4 weeks he's had that drone. But yeah, very clever move, Ken, on the 3 videos. But look, there's bonkers amounts. Now, what I did find interesting earlier was that there was very low view figures on a lot of the big channels for this. Very low view figures. They've come up a bit now. But I tell you a big one I noticed, a big fan. I like iPhone Dio or iPhone Do. It's only had 7,000 views. I haven't watched it, but for a channel of his size, that's pretty poor. But even the DJI video was like on 6,000 when I viewed it earlier, but it's like everyone's woke up now. DJI have probably got all the Chinese people to watch it to get the viewing figures up. That is something quite interesting. Look at the difference in viewing figures between DJI and the rest. You can't tell me that's not manipulated. 196,000, 16K, 54K, 28K, 8K, 42K. You can't tell me that isn't manipulated. Right, I need to get some stuff out the way before I continue. We have had a number of super chats. First of all, Sean at Geeksvana is being naughty again. I've lost my mouse pointer. Where's my mouse pointer gone? It's gone. There it is. Sean at Geeksvana has been naughty again, and he's trying to put me off my flow. Sean, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. There is 2 of them, in fact, because Sean put 2 down. Will this drone make me an FPV god? Absolutely. Absolutely. Jimmy again. Thank you for your hard work. Thanks for the help with the walks in LOSD. New firmware is awesome so far. Thank you, mate. We might touch on that a little bit in a minute. A massive thank you for the super chats. Okay. I saw a question. I'm going to try and get up some of these questions a minute. Are the goggles compatible with old Vistas? No, Super Deluxe. Not at the moment. And it may never happen. So, not compatible with the old system. Number 1. I saw a question. Missing real crystals in this video. You're going to test the mix. I'm going to come on to it in a minute myself. Ken will tell you. Ken is a genuine guy, right? If it was a bucket of shit, Ken would tell you that. Trust me. Ken is a very good guy. He's a well-timed individual. He's a well-groomed and he looks like a proper YouTuber, does Ken, as well. He is a proper YouTuber, that's why. Disinterest. I noticed a degree of disinterest on YouTube. Quite a lot in the early few hours, Bruce. Do I want the Avata to be bad or do I wish it great success? What I wish is irrelevant. I think it will be a good drone. I think the Avata makes far more sense than the DJI FPV drone. The problem with the DJI FPV drone, aka the Potato, was that it was an FPV style drone with not really any benefits for FPV, but it was a bit much for the new user. You know, no prop guards, no nothing. What I think DJI have got right here is that it is very much a starter style drone with prop guards. They're selling parts, which means if you break it, you can order certain parts. Oh, my monitor's just gone off. And it's a drone that you can learn with and probably continue to use. I said the biggest problem with the FPV drone, I felt, is you would grow out of it quickly. At least with this, it's a cinewoop. It's always going to be a cinewoop. It's not really got any of the downsides compared to other cinewoops. The big problem with the DJI FPV drone was it had lots of downsides. This doesn't. So I think it will be extremely successful. I think it will probably sell far, far better than the original FPV drone. I think in many ways it makes far more sense. I don't like the way they've launched it. I'll be honest, I don't like the fact they haven't shipped it with a remote control. I don't like the fact that you're restricted that way right now. But I do think it's not a bad product. And I will say this. I think you're going to get a lot of people buy this to get into FPV. But also a lot of people buy this on a professional point of view who want a cinewoop for filming real estate, who are filming commercially, because it is, it's a turnkey cinewoop, which is probably easier to use and better than a standard cinewoop in most of its performance, battery life, capabilities, image quality. I think it probably will do a good job for a lot of people. I honestly do. So I think it will probably be a successful product. It is absolutely not aimed for FPV users. And that is why you will notice not one FPV channel, or a proper FPV-centric channel, had sent one. This has all been sent to the people who are trying to sell you GoPros and dreams and a new way of life, basically. This hasn't been sent to any heavily... Rotor Riot are a dealer, so you've got to take into account that's all about retail sales. But there's a reason they haven't sent one to JB, for instance, because it's not FPV-centric. So I think the product will be okay. I think the product will do fine. Rotor Riot are a dealer, though, as well. And they're probably a very big DJI dealer. In fact, I had heard some numbers how much Rotor Riot sell. So they're a slightly different kettle of fish. Yeah, I think the Avata... I'm just a bit disappointed you can't buy it with that other remote. And going back to analog. So, okay, so let's just clarify some things. So where do we stand on OcuSync 3 FPV? DJI have not announced anything for OcuSync 3 FPV. However, the goggles have the mode in it already. It is hidden from you, but it is We know this. We have the FCC filings. We believe from all of the information is the O3A unit is going to come in the next month. That will probably coincide with the release of the goggles as a standalone product as well. So O3 is happening. That hasn't been cancelled. That hasn't been stopped. We believe that is happening. What we don't know, or what is a no, is if it's going to have support for the old FPV system right now. Their website is a hard no. Regardless of what that customer service rep has said, their website isn't maybe in the future, isn't this. It's a hard no right now. And we're going to have to wait and see. Now, regardless of what people say, unless it's in our hand, it is not going to happen. Oh, I need to quash. There we go. Unbelievable. But yes, so that's where we're at. Now, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting. So, the big question. Have I ordered this product yet? And the answer to that is actually no. I have sat here all day with my finger on the button for this. However, right now, as it is not clear what the situation is with the backwards compatibility, I have held back. If the product had been released with the option of the standard remote, I probably 99% would have ordered it. But I don't want that motion controller. I have no interest in that motion controller. And that is what put me off. Now, I am sitting here. I can get one delivered tomorrow from Amazon. Probably Saturday now. And I'll be honest, I was really tempted. But here is some truth that some people may not realize, okay? So, if I buy this product and make a review, here is the blunt facts. If I get 10,000 views on that view from the amazing FPV community, that video will earn about £47. Okay, this is true income based on a video I looked at today. There is no remote way I can recover $1,300 from that video. So ignore the goggles. Ignore just for the drone a minute. I wouldn't even be able to cover the cost of the extra remote. By the time I bought the drone, the extra remote, and the batteries, we're talking £1,600 in the UK. I'll never get that back. So, what I have decided to do is wait a minute. I want to see the drone, and I'd love to work with a vendor, a manufacturer, anyone who'd be interested. I'm in a difficult position of, if they released info on it being backwards compatible, I would be in a position to make a better purchase decision, because I could pretty much get rid of my V1 goggles if I wanted to. However, as they've not done that, I'm in this strange position of, do I want to spend a silly amount of money right now for a product that might not support? Now, I know a lot of people want or have asked for my opinion. I'm going to be presumptuous, but I know a lot of people have asked for my opinion on the product. And I actually would like to give it, but I have to be realistic in what is financially viable on a channel where the product may not fit my core audience. Because look, guys, I'm going to be lucky to get 10,000 views on this. Now, I did have one idea, and this is a genuine idea. I was going to buy it and order it tomorrow and do a complete teardown on the bench. Rip it apart before I'd even flown it. Give you the biggest teardown of the goggles and drone that existed. Even if I did that, I would be lucky to net $150 and I would still be down. There's a point where I can't justify it. So what my plans are this. We will 100% be covering the goggles and the ear unit. I will be aiming to try and get a borrow, a loan, a test of an Avata, and I might make a decision from there. I do sort of have room for this in my bag, this drone. But that's reality. And that is the truth. And it's as simple as that. Teardown would be interesting. But again, it's how do you get the value from that? The backwards compatibility and the lack of remote. To be honest, if the remote had been in the box, I'd have probably took the punt. I'll be honest, if the standard remote... And yes, someone asked, I did sell my V2 drone. I did sell it. Buy it from Amazon, test it, and send it back afterwards, and done. I did have a look at Amazon's return policy, and do they only accept returns? I've already seen a teardown. Wow, West Michigan. Is there a video of that already? If there's a video, I'm even boned on that one. Remember the boost of the FPV drone. You've been donors too. Doubts too. Yeah, it's a tough one. Avata is a tough one for me. And it's the whole remote situation. If the annoyance is that the other remote's the same money. Yet they're only letting you they accept any returns. That's interesting. I need to have a look at that. I need to have a look at Amazon's return policy. So that's where I'm at. I genuinely think everyone loves donuts. Thank you, Alexander Wiki. Thank you for your great videos. I want donuts. So, look, if you guys have got any specific questions, I'll answer them. Right now, from an FPV point of view, what's the real flight time on the Avata? About 8 to 10 minutes. 8 to 10 minutes. 100% I think the Avata is better than the DJI FPV drone. I definitely think that comes with that. I'm not even saying that. Goodwin. Do they have new battery tech? It's lithium ion, which is interesting. Hiring isn't a bad idea. Only 8 to 10 minutes. Same as the FPV drone. Ken was flying it with the GoPro on top. I don't know if you're still here, Ken. What did you get? That's why they use lithium-ion batteries in order to get the extended flight time, however, they go soft. Yeah, and if you notice in the Rotor Riot video, they felt the sag very quickly. Very quickly. They did say that they were feeling the sag. The motion controller was a fail, so they're putting them in their old stock. Yeah, I don't think there is anyone who doesn't think that they are trying to shift old stock on this remote controller. It's quite funny, if I'm honest. It's quite funny. I get a real kick out of that. Always obey local laws over DJI. Any performance reviews? Yeah, we're waiting. Sean has his. Sean, did yours arrive today, by the way? So that's where I'm at. You know, I could end up ordering one by the end. If I order it tomorrow, it'll be here Saturday. His new FC, not about the Avata. That's interesting. I haven't seen JB's video today. I haven't really been watching much of anything other than this stuff today. Other than what I needed to. Mini 3 battery is also labeled as lithium ion. That's right. Poly pouches inside. That's a point. I remember that now you said that. It's not as fast as the FPV drone. No, and I think the nice thing is you could fly indoors. That's the big one with it. You know, I was watching, there was a review, one of these. Which one was it? I haven't watched Potato Jets yet. But one of them was showing flying indoors. Ken flew indoors with his as well. It's an interesting time. Look, things aren't clear yet. It's going to be a bit longer before they are. You know, Avatar's just had a major firmware update, and I haven't spoke about that publicly yet. And the reason I haven't spoke about that publicly is I've been testing all of the betas, but I haven't tested the final firmware. And I'll be honest, my stance on Avatar still remains that it is an alpha product until certain things are in place. And with Avatar, I said it was alpha because of the blocking. Now they've fixed that. However, they have caused the image to be extremely dark. And that is because they've swapped out Luma and replaced it with red. And if you look at all the new Avatar HD footage, the reason the image is darker is the only way they could solve the problem of the compression was to take Luma out of the image, which is green, basically, and light. When they did that, they were able to replace it with red. It's now gone super warm and super dark. And that is, they've fixed the one problem, but they've caused another. Now, I shared an offline video, and it was on my Discord group, and I shared it with them, where I show them it's quite poor performance in that regard. I think I showed it on a live stream as well. And what I was sort of told was they've tried adding brightness back, but the compression comes back. So the problem is right now, they haven't fixed the problem of the compression. They've just got a workaround. And the workaround is make the image darker and remove Luma from the image. Now, it does look much, much better. There is no question that it looks much, much better. But it doesn't look like DJI, and it doesn't look like HD0 anymore. The image is fundamentally warmer now. Yes, it retains a lot more detail, but it still isn't perfect. So this is why I have not rushed to put out a video on how amazing the new firmware is, because it isn't. It's not really fixed. That's the problem. Secondly, we still don't have FCC and CE certification for this product. Now, I have seen something that alludes to FCC certification, but I'm not 100% on if it is all of the certifications it will need. So right now, the reason I haven't put it's amazing video out on Avatar is because it isn't amazing yet. It is much better. So if you guys who watch the channel regularly think back to my field video where I sat down and I was completely contradicting JB, I said a few fundamental things. Fix the bricking, which they've done. Fix the compression. That isn't really fixed, in my opinion, right now. It's masked. And fix the warranty issues, which they did. They announced a warranty after I pushed them on that. And remember, it was me who pushed them on that. And then issue the FCC reports. So we have two things fixed. We have the bricking fixed. We have the warranty fixed. But the compression issue is masked. And the FCC remains outstanding. So that's where I'm at with Avatar, and that's why you don't have a video from me saying it's amazing. I've seen bots. Bots was fantastic. I think it was great to see bot grinders changing it, because bots was total crap show, and now it looks much better. But for me, I've been able to move through the firmware and see how it's changing. It seems very nice. It works better than it ever has, but it isn't like DJI. There are still some big issues in this system that need resolving, and there's a reason as well you haven't seen a lot of the long range flights, because the guys are able to get the range, but they're having problems. They're having random dropouts in flight. Just catch up on the chat. Failsafe. 302 people. Oh my god. Hello, 302 people. I never saw that. How are you? I hope you are safe and well. Give it a like if you're here. If you'd like to support us in buying a drone, there's a super chats are welcome. I'm not doing a buy me thing on it. Loving it at the moment. Yeah, I know Failsafe has been doing a lot of testing on the new firmware. He's flying it all the time. But there are dropouts and latency spikes. And again, the compression issue isn't strictly fixed. Until that image quality comes up, it is not fixed. It's that simple. I have a video which I was not meant to share. Let me just find it. And I have shown this before, but I will show it again, which I'll get in trouble for. But hey ho, I don't care. I do things to get into trouble all of the time, as I have in the last 24 hours. Let me just show you this. Hello, guys. You don't need to hear the noise because it's my horrible voice. Now, this is not a public video, right? So what I want to show you on this is a couple of things. Number one, this is the straight image from the Avatar system, okay? Now, you're watching it over a live stream. Let me just get to where you need. But you can see how dark it is, right? Oh, let me get to the right part. Look at this in the trees here, right? The image does not brighten. This is a dark day, and it just will not brighten up at all. I'm flying up against the bushes, and it's just... This is what basically is today's firmware. It was the beta, but it's the same thing. It is not improved. Now, you could increase... if I go back to there, just to show you that again, just look how dark it is in the testing, okay? If you then go to 0.3 EV, it is no better at 0.3 EV. Oh, wait there, let me show you it at 0.3. Yeah, you can see there, coming in, it's just as dark in 0.3 EV. It's not really any different. It doesn't brighten up. It will at one point. I think I come back around and have a look. Here you go. Here you can see it. Look, it does brighten at one point, but it's just too dark. Too dark. It really is. Now, if you jack the EV on the camera to 0.7, it blows the sky out, but it does improve it dramatically. But also, the compression comes back. So if you now look, we can see in the trees. Now, there isn't a 0.5. much less data to compress. Yeah, they've taken all of the dynamic range out, and they've also swapped everything for reds and greens. And you can see this here, right? Look at these two images. One of these is HD0, one of these is Avatar, right? Virtually in the same run. And look at the color difference between these two systems. Oh, they added it now, did they? On the My Test, it wasn't there. But it is a... Look at the color difference in the grass. Just look at that. They have taken all of the luma out. Now, don't get me wrong. The image quality is very, very nice on the Avatar system in a good day. But it's not fully fixed yet. It's not there. The detail is fine. It's not... I'll be honest, when you're flying it, the detail is great. But the color has been messed with. They've taken light. They've taken luma out. And that's the problem. That's the issue. So it's not fixed yet. It needs work. So that's why I haven't ran out to make a video as quick as I could. Because as far as I am concerned right now, the Avatar system still remains buyer beware beta product. Beta product. And until I finished fully testing, I will make a decision on if I'm willing to change that stance. They have solved a lot of the issues, though. Sell that thing and buy an Avatar. So, thank you for that. So, okay, let's catch up on the chat. If anyone's got any questions, please do let me know. It must be a newbie extra. Oh, the Avatar is sorted out. There's a lot of variables. Yeah, it takes time. It takes time. I'd rather see your take time than it rant it out. Yeah, it takes time. Do I think anyone in the UK Drone Fest... Did you? I wasn't able to because I'd been traveling the week before. So many frame drops. The overall performance is decent in Avatar, but it's still dropping out randomly. The long range guys are getting random dropouts. They're at 25 megabits and then it goes to 0. Franco, Ian, buy it, your point of view, and it will be helpful if the drone is a really nice cinewoop. It's going to be a very good bit of kit. From Avatar to Avatar, you saved you saved an hour and a headache. Avata and Avatar, unbelievable in it. So yeah, that's why I haven't rushed out a video on that, guys. You know, it's as simple as that. So many frame drops. Copy and paste. Scammer's sister. Let's have a look. Plus, I hated the movie, someone says. It reminds me of an old analog run cam. Is it normal for 25 milliwatts of crossfire to switch up power within 30 to 50 meters? Do you mean it's increasing power? Interesting. I wouldn't have expected that close. So, someone has just put a post, which is nice. The next question that I haven't covered on DJI yet is the version 2 goggles, and this will be fairly easy to convert. So, version 2 goggles have had a firmware update for, where is it? There it is. Support for the Avata drone. So, today there is new firmware for the version 2 goggles, version 01.03. 0.0000. Now, this firmware will upgrade the goggles. It has been confirmed that this firmware does not remove the root hack if you've done the root from FPV WTF. However, it does not work with all of the new software that they've created. So even though the root hack stays, you won't be able to use the custom OSD that the amazing people have done. The firmware is downgradable via a back end, but don't upgrade yourself if you want to downgrade. And as far as we can see, it does not affect anything on the FPV side, such as FCC or 1200 milliwatt hacks on the FPV ear unit side. All of that remains the same as far as we can see, but there is a lot more testing needed. Now, if you don't own the Avata, there is no good reason to update your V2 goggles, and do not do it. If you buy the Avata and want to use the V2s, which you can, you will need to update, but just understand right now, you will not have access to all of the new magical stuff before it releases on the other goggle systems. You will have to make sure that you're going back to stock, basically. Or no, you need to understand you're going back to stock, not you have to make sure. Sorry, my brain went a bit sideways then. So if you upgrade to this, you will lose the WOFS options. You will lose all of the other stuff. But you should still have 1200 milliwatts and FCC on the ear unit and the Vista on the V2 goggles. But the V2s do now have official firmware support for it. And that all comes from Jonas, as someone has just said there. I was coming on to that. Now, I haven't got there yet. Jonas is someone I talk to quite a bit in the background, as many other things. He's a very, very good guy. We bounce things off each other, and there's a whole area on the fpv.wtf group. And look, something I'm going to say is this. These guys are going to be doing a lot of work on this, and I strongly suggest people consider donating to the project. There is going to be a new page created for this. It's not there yet because I was asking about it today, but when it is, please donate to it. I will be donating myself for them to buy a set of V2 goggles and goggles too, and get involved in the hacking. They don't need it today, but it is coming in the next few weeks. I will be talking a lot more about that when it's time. I've had a lot of people ask me, why haven't I discussed the new OSD? Why haven't I discussed what the FPV.WTF guys have done? I haven't discussed it because I have been asked not to. They are not ready for public consumption. When they are ready, I will be doing a live stream and I will be putting out a video on it, but that is when they are ready and not before. They don't want all of the hustle and noise that me and JB cause, JB and everyone else, not just me, JB, everyone, by us putting it out there public. The system is still early days. They've done a huge amount of work. Now you have OSD with full functionality on the goggles as well. DVR, everything. It is all looking good. But it's not ready for public consumption yet. It's not my choice. I've been asked. But yes. So on the V2s, just be careful. So someone asked a question. I saw something. I also thought I saw V1's compatible with the new drone, no, or the new ear units. V1s are compatible with the OSD from fpv.wtf. Something, hello, Tweet. Switching topics. What are my thoughts on the US FAA remote? It was Tweet FPV. Hello, Tweet. How are you? Switching topics. What are my thoughts on the US FAA remote ID regulations? Well, it's going to happen globally. It's fairly straightforward for me. Regardless of if we want it or not, it is coming. So this is a sensitive subject for me right now because of the last 24 hours. However, it is happening, whether we want it to or not. So, ignoring a single FPV flyer point of view a minute, commercial entities, businesses, and people selling drones are going to have to comply. That's law. They have no choice. So, that has to be done. That people need to get involved in that. Ardra Pilot is working on bringing remote ID compliance to a version of Ardra Pilot for their vendors. It would be good if everyone else would do that as well. Now, the last thing I'm going to say on this is two things I've seen posted. I have seen comments that manufacturers will be fine. They will be able to sell their product without a receiver and it'll be classed as a kit and they won't be affected. I have been told on good authority that game is not going to stand. The last person who tried that mess in was Hobby King. And it didn't end well for them in the end. So manufacturers are going to have to comply one way or another. And they then need support in that through the flight stacks, through the software. Just because something is open source doesn't mean it can't be compliant. The ASTM standard is out there. There are some insanely clever people looking at this right now, including Tridge from Ardra and that we discussed this on SES News Tuesday. There is a path for this. Now, as for the effect of a single pilot, that's all a bit more complex. I did see JB's on about turning his gardening into a freer, was it? If he's able to, or whatever the term was. I thought that was an interesting approach. I think it's going to happen worldwide. Hobby King was giving out VTXs that was listed as lock and F3. It's breaking rules is the point I'm making. When in the UK, that stuff wouldn't stand. And what I've been told is that workaround on the compliance is not going to stand up. Yeah, remote ID will be the majority of carrier. It will be for specific products and specific sign builds if you want it. Was it freer or another status? I can't remember what it was. I think JB said he had plans to try and turn into a freer or something like that. I saw something on his live stream about it. I think he was going to class... I think he said he could easily class himself as an educational institution based on his channel. I think that's what his game was. Again, that's for JB to fight and work his way around. That one isn't my problem. What I do think is remote ID is coming. FPV can bury its head in the sand if it wants to and pretend it's not going to get affected, but it is, and it will come. And the sooner we start looking at putting solutions in place, the better, regardless if we like it or not. I need to change all my videos to education. Don't you only fly indoors? You fly mostly indoors, Tweet. You're fine. That's what he said in his stream. Don't shoot the messenger. I've not discussed. I don't really talk to anyone much. I talk to people less after the last 24 hours. I think I'm pretty hated right now in a certain quarter of the FPV world, but what can you do? What can you do? You can only do what you feel is right. That's what you can do. The good news is DJI units will have remote ID natively, according to rumors. Yeah and no. Okay, the new Air unit, I've seen a lot of talk. The new Air unit will not have GPS. Okay, it's not in the spec. It can't have GPS because it's not in the FCC filing. All parts of the radio system have to be listed in the FCC filing. So, it can't have that. But that's not to say they can't implement remote ID. But they could implement remote ID on the current FPV system. That's just software. Odis, actually, I got a good question. Do we know what receivers in the new Avata, or can we possibly put one in? No, the Avata will simply be the same as all DJI gear. The OcuSync system will be just integrated. There basically is no receiver. It's all part of the same system. There'll be no S-Bus, no Crossfire, no nothing. It's just part of their OcuSync communication protocol. And there will be no way of attaching another receiver. Yeah, I know. Most of what I see of tweets is indoors. He flies his 5 inches indoors as well. He doesn't need certification. Type. Can you change the motors on the Avata? Probably. As to what to, I don't know. The only problem with changing motors on the Avata... Okay, can you change them to new DJI motors? Potentially. Should we just have a look at something a minute? On the DJI website, right, what were they selling for this? So, we go to the store to buy this product, and we click on the Avata up here. Right, so the parts that DJI have listed on their website. We have an upper frame, and we have a propeller guard, and we have some propellers. They have not listed motors, so you can't buy motors. Thank you, Squirrely, for the super chat. Do the goggles 2 work with DJI FPV? Currently, no. DJI specification says no. A customer service rep has said yes. That customer service rep may be talking out of his bottom. All we can go by is what has been said. So in a statement, DJI have said to Rotor Riot, they are evaluating the feedback from the community. Their website specification is a hard no. That's where we're at. I'm just going to take a drink. Oh, have I seen Troubles in? Have I just seen Trouble has entered? Good evening, Bot Grinder. Hello, my friend. How are you? Oh, they're all coming tonight. Hello, my friend. Hope you're well. I watched. Do you know? The start of Bot's video the other day, I did cry when he walks in and he just got to walk too far. I just laughed. I really, genuinely, one of the best FPV channels there is. Potato Flying FPV, maybe we'll have to see. You gotta love. Anyone have a Guk F7 Vitisile Pro? No, I don't. It sounds more like yet. So, scribble a logo up. It was funny. It's over 9,000. What am I missing? The orientation is off, and I don't know what the default is. Ah, right, okay. Does the P1RC controller work with the Avatar? Which one is the P1RC? I'm going to have to search for P1RC. Let me just check which one it is. Which one is the P1RC? Is that the P1RC? Mine doesn't have a label. Mine was a pre-release. Is that the P1RC? If so, no. No. Only the DJI FPV Remote 2. Mine doesn't actually have... this is a pre-release. It has a testing label on the top. And it has lots of Chinese writing inside, which I don't know what it means. I really should check what all of that means. Like, there's Chinese writing in there. I don't know what any of that means. No, unfortunately, only the FPV drone remote and the FPV... How's that Ribble cable? Yeah, it still works, Bruce. It's just never sellable. I love the fact we've got live support for Bot Grinder on the stream. That is amazing. I love this community. I'm betting no. That is an interesting question. I wonder if the P1C will work with the new ear unit. That is interesting. If I was a betting man, I would bet they'd go to the DJI Remote 2. FPV Drone Remote 2 was sold quite cheap in eBay in January. It was. I was looking last week and the prices were low. They'll be more expensive today. Please congratulate Naderson, who just bought the DJI Avatar. Avata. Congratulations. Who just bought it? Where is he? Did he put it in the post? Let's have a look. YouTube is harassing me to put an advert in the middle of this stream. Go away. Do you know, this will make you laugh, guys. If you've got any questions, please do put it in the chat. YouTube asked me to put an advert in within 10 seconds of me starting this stream. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, is there anything else I need to cover on this thing? Let's have a look. Let me have a look. Don't know. I didn't show you that. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. I have no idea what that is. But hey. I also don't know what that is as well. You didn't see anything down there that says switch mode to DJI Unit 3. And yeah, I think that's about it. That's about it. 1299 in the UK. Crazy, 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 crazy. So, Viz Crossfire, is it worth buying a DJI remote in preparation of getting the goggles too? I wouldn't be using, if you're a standard FPV user, I would always choose a separate RC link. I would always choose a separate RC link. So, Crossfire, Express LRS, anything else like that. Any thoughts on if a returning hobbyist should go in for the Avata kit with a controller? Ajax, hello, my friend. Hope you're well. If you haven't got a drone, it's not a bad setup deal, apart from the fact they're forcing you into the motion controller. I would happily sort of say, if you want to get back into FPV with something like this, cinematic, then yeah. But the problem is, it's the price of the drone. You know, let's look at this now, right? In the US, let's come off UK, and let's go to the US. Okay, so we're going to shop now. We're going to add the Avata. We don't want key refresh because I can rebuild parts myself. Continue without coverage. We're going to want some extra batteries because we're going to want more than just a couple of batteries. And I need that remote controller because I can't fly that stupid thing. So there we go. Another $130 out of stock, in stock reminder. So we need to add what? $200 to the price. So to buy this, we're at $1,886. $1,886 for this drone with the remote and 3 batteries. That's a lot of money. That is an awful lot of money. It really, really is. You know, let's be honest here. Let's get on to Get FPV. That is a lot of coin. So, you know, ready to fly drones. What are we talking here? 3-inch? You know, okay, let's talk about... I hate to choose beta FPV. Let's try something else. Should we go for the Gep RC, cinewoop, and Cadix Polar Micro? So here we go, look. Receiver, we're going to choose... no receiver and the KV. You're talking $300. It's, you know, by the time you had goggles 2 on that, goggles 2, where are they? Version 2 with the current price as well. There you go, $429. You chuck that on top, and we're going to go let's get a remote which is fairly good because there's some good cheap remotes. Let's just do this very quickly. Radios, radio controllers. I don't know, let's, you know, I was going to sit here and say let's choose a Radio Master, but let's be honest, they'll be cheapest. There's some good cheaper remotes out there. Let's choose which brand? FR Sky Radios, DJI Radio Master. Oh, let's just go on Radio Master a minute. It's a bit easier. Come on, Radio Master. Let's just choose something. It's probably a cheaper bundle I can go with. There we go. There's cheaper radios, but let's add a TX12. So what are we up to? You're up to $928, right? You need to add a GoPro on that and a charger. It isn't going to be a lot. I'll be honest. By the time you do it in the end, it isn't going to be a huge amount, but it will add up. It will add up. You know, you got to put batteries on top. You got to do all of this. You know, we've got, what have we got there? We need a GoPro. So GoPro. So you're going to, what, a GoPro Hero 8 Black. So you're going to have one of these. You know, I can't add a GoPro because they haven't got any. Why haven't they got any? So there's not going to be a lot in it. You know, by the time you do it, it isn't going to be dramatically different. But let's not pretend that isn't a lot of coin. By the time you've done it, I've lost my shopping cart. It just feels a lot like that. It just feels a lot like that. You know, what I would say is this: if you want an easy to use, ready to fly, go for it. It will be a good drone for a lot of people. Rotor Riot plug and play kit, batteries, charger, GoPro. Ah, do they? Rotor Riot do they? Let's have a look. FPV drones. Which one is it? CL1 starter kit, HD1 starter kit. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, look, if we look at the HD, even look. Build 1,500. See, it's 1,500 there, mind. Isn't it? Soon adds up. Let's have a look which ones we got. Cinewoop starter kit. There we go. Yeah, 1,500 quid. Is that with a GoPro? Because I can't see a GoPro on that. So it's not super, you know, the DJI drone isn't bad when you add it up from scratch. It just depends if you own something. Starting from scratch with goggles, radio, etc. is still expensive, but you actually fly crashes. Manage DJI. Yeah, exactly, John Ann. Exactly, that's the situation. 100%, 100%. Yeah, if you already own half the stuff, it's an expensive buy. And that's probably where we all struggle as an FPV community, because we struggle. We already own half the stuff. One thing I did laugh at, did you see actually on the Avatar, it has auto turtle mode. I like that. That needs to be implemented into the flight stacks. My phone is going nuts. Why is my phone going nuts? I need to turn off a group a minute. Sorry about this. It is a group I'm in is making a lot of noise, and I need to mute it. Why can't I mute it? I can't mute. Go away. The bingo group, correct. I have DJI V2 goggles, Action 2 and Crossfire on a Zorro, and actual ability to fly a drone in acro. Avata will never be a viable option for me at that price. 100% Charlie RC. And that is the problem. No, because you don't know which way the turtle is. I like the auto turtle mode. Will the new air units still be a brick? The info we've seen is that they are bigger, but might not be as big as we originally thought. That's where we're at on this. Let's talk about the Avata VTX possibilities. Yeah, you know, we know the Avata VTX or the DJI O3 VTX. So we're going to have very similar performance with regards to image stabilization and everything we've seen on the Avata drone. DJI are bringing that to that. We know this already based on the spec. So you're going to get rock steady. Whether it's all going to be exactly the same, we don't know, but it is basically the same hardware internally as the Avata drone, as we understand it. That's it. It could be as good image quality as this drone. Exactly the same. It could be the same identical spec. But I did, but yeah, so that's where we're going to be on the air unit. We believe it's going to be that in an air unit, but it's going to come at a cost, and it's not going to be cheap. Personal drone repair, devil's advocate, the Avata will be worth it for return to home and GPS stabilization. If you're filming indoors or real estate, absolutely. 100% agree. I said that at the start of the video. Yeah, I think I'll leave that one there, Charlie RC. With a Vista, cheap. Hero 8. Yeah, it is good that you have all of the DJI safety features. I was actually surprised that the Avata had return to home. Not return to home, sorry, acro mode. I was actually shocked it had acro mode. It was nice to see it. Came in late. How you doing, mate? Hardly auto 2 when it takes 30 seconds to go to featuring goggles. It's going to be interesting. So, from my point of view, I'm going to try and test the product as soon as I can. If there are any manufacturers, vendors, or anyone who would like to enable us to do that, I would be very interested. However, I will warn you up front, I want to be able to say whatever I feel about the product, but I will recommend your retail store. But I may slag the product off in a heap. That's my findings are, as always, entirely my own, and I do not accept any form of restriction over the content I make. Okay, I want to touch on something very quickly, and I don't want this to turn into a drama any more than it has, because there's some people I've fallen out with today over this, and it is what it is, okay? I appreciate everything those people have done. There's been a few patrons who've cancelled as a result of my behaviour, as their term is. But look, I put a post on Betaflight. I'm not going to go into it, but there was some conversations had that moderator felt he didn't want had. I didn't agree with the way the situation was handled, and it's not a moderator, it was a dev. I don't agree. I don't care about the conversations. The conversations were fine. I challenged an answer which I felt was not really a proper answer, and it had some stupid content. I don't care if they're a dev or not. If I see something stupid, I'm going to reply. And I wasn't disrespectful in the sense of I didn't shout, I didn't argue, I didn't say you're wrong. All I said was, well, hold on a minute, X, X, and X. And anyways, the conversation was removed. I had some conversations in the background, and it got a bit messy because the person was a bit difficult in my experience to deal with. It was implied all of the posts were removed because someone, i.e. me, got upset, and I felt that was not correct. So I put a post again on the group simply saying, actually, this is my point of view. There was no one upset. It was simply A, B, and C. The matter is now closed and we'll move on. And all of this has been shared on my Discord. There were people on my Discord who knew about this. Anyway, it ended up that this person got upset. I was like, I don't agree the post should have been removed. And I was basically told to kick my can elsewhere. I was disrespectful. It was not my place to post my side of the story. And if I didn't stop, I would be blocked from posting in the group. At that point, I had already made the decision to leave the group. This is the official Betaflight group. And I just said, do what you wish. Now, as a result of that, not as a result of the post, not as a result of anything else, I made the decision to withdraw my support for the Betaflight project. I have put a post up and simply said this: I will no longer be promoting how people can support the Betaflight project on my channel. In the past, I have always tried for Express LRS, FPV WTF, Betaflight, and others to say you should donate to this because they're doing great work. As a result of how I feel I was unfairly treated, I am no longer going to be promoting people support Betaflight. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm not telling anyone to stop doing it. All I am saying is, that's it. I am not going to say this anymore for that group because I cannot endorse that behavior of how it was. I don't feel it was the right way to deal with it. And it was interesting. A term that was said to me was really simple. They said, we didn't know who you was, and I don't really know who you was. And my reply to that is, you shouldn't, I don't matter. If you're willing to treat any normal person like that, then I can't support that. It was draconian. It was out of order as far as I'm concerned. Not the post, but the removal and the way I was threatened with get back into line or we will remove you from the group. And that is not acceptable in my opinion. No rules were broken. That's it. So I simply, and there are people who saw this conversation. It wasn't hidden. It was there. So I have said, I am not supporting the Betaflight project publicly anymore from my channel. That's it. I'm just going to say, you won't see me say, go and support Betaflight. Anyway, so I put a post up and I just wanted to make the community aware of that. That post will probably come down after this video is done. That's it. But that was it. That's my stance. I'm being open. I'm being fair. I'm not calling the one person out. I'm not going to sit here and name people. I'm not going to sit here and give a thing. As far as I'm concerned, that person speaks for the project because they're an admin of the group and they are a dev of the project. Therefore, their behavior is that. So my stance is I can't. It wasn't reasonable, it wasn't appropriate, and I don't think it was right or fair. I'm not saying my response wasn't a bit arsey when they got arsey, or not saying that I didn't challenge the dev. I will challenge someone. If I see someone say something I don't think is appropriate or I think is wrong, I will go, hold on, that is how I am. But I was told by someone else, sometimes I come across as narky. Sometimes I come across as not very friendly. I'm just as straight as I am always on the channel. But if I don't think something's right, I say it. I don't mess around. I don't mix my words. I don't call the person anything nasty. But that was it. So that's my stance. That's what I've said. I have nothing against the overall dev team. If it could have been sorted out, it would have been great, but it couldn't. So I'm just not going to support the project on the channel anymore. That isn't to say I might not personally give them $5 when I download the new version. But what I'm not going to be doing is supporting the project that endorses closing down conversations that shouldn't have been closed down in a public manner. There was no need to remove them. There was no need to do anything. So it's as simple as that. So that's it. That's all I'm saying about it. I've had a few people upset with me today. I've had some guys who I'm disappointed in say, look, we think you're out of order. And I say, fine, do what you wish, just as I have. It is what it is. I can't please all of the people all of the time. So that's it. End of. I've upset the Betaflight community. Oh, well, they'll get over it. I'm a nobody. It doesn't really matter. My opinion matters little in the end. So that's it. So I just thought I'd explain it. I'm not going to go into details of the person, the conversations. For those who'd seen it, I had a few messages like, what the hell was that about? We can't believe that was the response. And I was like, I know, but it is what it is. So it is what it is. Oh, thank you for that, Nikolai. I don't know what it is. It's BGNs and there's 20 of them, and I massively appreciate it. That is fantastic. And Andy Cortez, thank you for that. I really do appreciate the super chats. Day. I can't say your name. You said saying new goggles are compatible with Classic Vista and Air Unit. Right, the new goggles are not compatible with the Air Unit or Vista. DJI's website says no. Yes, there are conversations from no, I'm itchy. I get itchy in here because it's hot. It's always my face starts getting itching because of the temperature in this room. It's my head and my face. It's Bulgarian Lav. Cool. I now know what it is. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So, new goggles, not compatible with Vista. official stance, according to DJI's website, is no. Yes, there's been something said. I'll be flush now with Bulgarian lav. I like Bulgarian lav. Now I've had it. I like it. You can only please some of the people some of the time. 100% correct. I will always do what I feel is right, regardless of the damage it does to me or the channel. I've had some accusations today, which I'm a bit disappointed in as well. There's people saying I'm trying to make a name for myself, which I'm not. Some people saying I'm trying to promote. I can't remember what the term was, and I was disappointed in the comment, if I'm honest, because the person really doesn't know me very well. I can promise you this: Sean at Geeksvana knows me quite well, and Sean knows my opinions on how I feel on. I am not a professional YouTuber. I have no intention of becoming a professional YouTuber, and I don't do anything to cause trouble just to make it look like the channel's growing or to get this. I do what I feel is right, and that's all I've ever done. Sean is Ian's sugar buddy. Bruce knows as well. Bruce knows I'm as self-destructive as Sean. Bruce has offered more than once, right? A channel with over 250,000 subscribers, I may add, right? One of the most well-known, well-respected and known channels in FPV has offered more than once to start a live stream with me, to start a channel and talk about some stuff. And this idiot here still hasn't got it done. That tells you how idiot I am. Emu rocks. Yeah, we need to get canvas mode support in Emu Flight, please. Nor the trolls. Did you get your drone, Sean? Has it arrived? I didn't see if you answered my question earlier. DJ President. DJ President, please. Did you not get... I did not get my drone, DJ President. Please, can you arrange for it to arrive? And the pocket of shill money that usually comes with it as well, please. What was it you offered me last time? $1,000 in DJI credit if I made content and promoted the FPV drone? Did I just say that out loud? Moving on. Meet me on the M4. That is what people apparently get offered. Someone might have said I turned it down. That tells you everything about me. I think he'd wanted more than cows. I just saw that. I'd review the Avatar naked on Pornhub for 500 quid. That's the comment of the night. Yeah, Rotor Riot are a dealer. You have to treat Rotor Riot like a used car dealer. They are trying to sell you something. Understand that, and it's fine. Understand that, and it's okay. There is talk of the smart controller, the RC Pro. Here's something interesting. DJI on their website don't shoot down the talk of the RC Pro. They simply say not at this time. I'm going to fire Lidrib. Rotor Riot, they are accept what they are. It's an entertainment channel with a dealer attached to it. Accept that and it's fine. Don't expect you to get the most accurate or honest or straight up opinions from a dealer. They are trying to sell you the product. I don't know what the numbers were. JB said on his live stream, Rotor Riot, the amount of product, DJI product Rotor Riot sell, it's not in their interest to say anything bad. Let's just be realistic on that. But accept it for what it is and don't worry about it. 15%. Yeah, it was a huge amount. It's a so let's look. Take Rotor Riot as this. They make some interesting content that I find genuinely interesting at times. They got some good people on there. It's fun to watch. They'll show you the product in a good light. They'll give you some opinion. Just don't expect it to be 100% straight like some of us can do. Okay, there's a reason I'm sitting here without the Avata drone, because I spoke genuinely about some stuff in the past, and that's just the reality. I am in a position where I don't care what a manufacturer, a group, a software company, a open source project thinks about me, because I will do what I feel is right. Rotor Riot's a business. I'm not a business. Bubby's cool. He's a nice kid. He looks a real nice kid. He really does. No, they don't hi-fi FPV, unfortunately. They enabled head tracking in them, though. There is head tracking, someone mentioned. Just going down. Bruce got it. Bruce signed the agreement. Ian for president. Yeah, I'm not sure the world could handle me as president. If I sat there and went, you know what, I got that wrong. We made a decision. It didn't go the way I planned. I'm sorry, but we got that one wrong. There is how you handle getting a situation wrong. Not, you know what, we tried. Not, oh, excuse. You get something wrong. You turn around and go, you know what, based on the information we had, we did X, Y, and Z. It didn't quite work out the way we expected. I'm sorry, but that is life. Things don't always go to plan. Let's move on. We've learned from it. If you don't admit a mistake, how are you ever meant to learn from it? The new goggles have head tracking. Madman XFPV. I would say new goggles in dollars and 2 air units, $1,200. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1,200. 2 air units and the goggles, $1,200. I reckon. Interesting, though. Cadix sent me a set of walk snail to rear. Did they? I had to pay for mine. Interesting. Did you love it when you've paid for something and then a manufacturer sends it to them for free? I can't complain. We've made enough content on that. I've been accused of shilling that system far more. So, okay, guys, look. We'll have a couple more units. Old units will reach $250, $300 soon. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Right, couple more minutes and we're going to wrap this one up. If you have any questions, please do put them in the comment section. Look, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's donated on the Super Chats tonight. It's been amazing. It really, really, really has been amazing. I think it's been an interesting day. I said my final thoughts on the product. I think it's interesting. One thing to be very careful of, and I wrote this on the goggles, these new goggles. These new goggles only support up to 12-volt input. If anyone gets this new drone and thinks, you know what, I'm going to cut that plug off and fire it up off my 4S LiPo, don't do it. You will burn them out. The new goggles have a very limited voltage input range. It is not the same as the old ones. It does not take the same cable as the old goggle. It is a different barrel connector. So they've stopped people doing that. The DJI website has a maximum of 12 volts listed under the spec I saw for it. Let me just double check that for you. But it is 7 to 9 volts officially. Frequently asked questions, goggles 2. It should be under here. It was something like, can I use third-party battery goggles, third-party batteries? Should not exceed 11.1. Let me recorrect that. 11.1. 11.1. So do not go over 11.1. No, do not use 3S. And that is going to catch people out. That is going to catch people out. You're going to see people buy them and think, oh, we'll snip that off and we'll put an XT60 on there. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm still going to have the V2s, I don't think. Bot grinder for president, absolutely. The ethics cable with use an ethics cable with an adapter. Yeah, it's not a good 3S, so you're going to need to be careful on that. I would blow myself up if I built a quad. Sean, I need to go and watch Sean's video. I haven't actually watched Sean's video today yet. If you don't know who Sean is, he's Geeks Varna. He is a great channel. I like Sean a lot. He's, as I like Bruce, as I like a lot of people on YouTube, and Sean is another person in the UK I talk to quite regularly. Can I use my Zorro external 2S light bulb? Probably, yeah, you'll be all right with that. I can see someone burning them out. We thought that the Avatar goggles was a problem. You're going to see someone burn it out. Sean smells of poo. We agree. Just don't tell him. It goes to his head. Goggles 2 listed in Germany for €849. Oh, wow. Thank you, John. That's amazing. I'm not even replying to that. I'm not even replying to that. Look, John, that is an amazing for the super chat. That's incredible. V2 is only 5S anyhow. Yeah, the V2 was limited, just not quite that limited. That is amazing. That John Birkland, that is just amazing. Thank you for that. Does the new goggle work with the old FPV from DJI? No, it does not. So the new goggle currently does not support the DJI FPV air unit or the Cadex Vista. There is no official confirmation it ever will. All DJI have said is their website says no, and their statement says they are evaluating it. There has been a post by DJI support. However, that is not fact. That is just a support post. The current official stance is that DJI are evaluating compatibility in the future, and the website says no, it may never happen. As for support for other drones, we believe the firmware can support the Mini 3, the Mavic 3, and the FPV drone, but that is locked away at the moment. Again, DJI would need to unlock that. But that has been seen as there. I'm going to cut that bit for a separate bit, because that question is just going to keep going round and round and round. They will be evaluating how many drones they sell and if they need to even worry about FPV users at all. That's the basics. 700 milliwatts. Yeah, we'll have to see. We don't know. We just don't know about hacks. We just don't know. We just don't know. There's some info about the weight of the new air unit in it. There's no weight. We don't know on that. Yeah, look, everything is... Okay, the one thing to understand with DJI is everything is technically possible. It's just if they decide to do it. There's no reason the new goggles can't work with the old air unit. Zero reason at all. They've just chosen not to do it at the moment. And it's down to DJI to evaluate if they want to put the dev time in. It will take some work because this isn't a V2 goggle. They would have to rewrite their new goggle to have support for the old system, and that's what they're evaluating. Basically, if they can get away with not doing it, they will. And I will put a video out about that, on that specifically, tomorrow, to try and push it along. And actually, that's a real good thing to end this with. For those who haven't seen, there is a petition. I've lost it. There is a petition started by a great guy, A6M0, to get DJI to add support to the Avatar goggle to the get DJI to add support for the original FPV system to the new goggles too. If you're interested in seeing that, it is there. 21 people have signed it. I'll sign it myself in a minute. I'm going to do a video about this to push it out there. Please do sign it, and let's see if we can get DJI to take notice. Philip Bloom did do this before and actually got them to agree to reinstate tripod mode on their drones. However, DJI agreed to do that in May, and they still haven't actually done it as of today. The link to this will be here. I'll put it in the chat now. Oh, I can't put the link in the chat because it's too big. Search change.org for that. I can't put the link in the chat because it's too big. Will this... We need to get them to do this. Now, DJI did... Philip Bloom did do one. If I search for this and search for Philip Bloom... Philip Bloom did do this, and this was... DJI, please give us back tripod mode or an adjustable speed cine mode. This was after his review of the recent drones, including the Air 2S. And he did put an update on here saying that DJI on the 30th of May agreed to add support for this, yet they have still not done it as of today on the 30th of May. So even if DJI agreed to do something, doesn't mean it will. I will do a separate video with this on later as well. We will get a short URL for this. Is there a short URL on it? Is there an option to share the petition? Can't see. I can't see. So, here's the link. Will it let you post it? It possibly won't, Michael. I'm going to make you a mod a minute. Interesting. Andy Cortez, why are DJI just pumping out different versions of the same old stuff when we're going to see something game-changing? That is a very interesting comment, actually, because, yeah, you're right. Oh, right there. Let me just do something. Charlie RC. Add moderator. Try now, Charlie. You should be able to. So hot in you. My God, it's warm. 1 second, guys. It is like an oven in this room. You should be able to post it now, Charlie RC. Please remove your power. There you go. Sorted. You are right. There is nothing new in this drone. There really isn't anything particularly special. Oh God, it didn't show up. Do I need to find a link shortener? Here we go. 1 second. Here you go. There you go. That should work. It is an interesting point. There's nothing particularly new here. The drone is just another drone. Look, there's no front object avoidance sensors, no back. It's got a basic camera. It's got limited camera functionality. It's nothing particularly special. Blunts for bot. So, guys, I am going to end this one here. I want to say a massive thank you for joining me on a Thursday night. It's an unusual night to do it. I know it's been a big day. Please look after yourself. Thank you for all the support. I want to say a massive thank you to all of the super chats tonight. It's been incredible. Everyone who's joined us on the stream has been amazing. I wish everyone all of the best. I will be back Sunday night. Same time, same place, live as usual. Where we will be talking about some more of the news once all of the dust has settled. That's it from me. Stay safe, look after yourselves, and I will speak to you soon. And I got to try and find the end button. There it is. Speak to you later.